Morning, Devils. So this morning we are talking Thomas Vermaelen. The Telegraph are claiming an agreement is in place between Manchester United and the player, and after the World Cup there's just the case of agreeing fees and stuff. Now, what do I think? There's lots of people saying he's past his peak and what's the point? He doesn't even start for Arsenal. But just a few years ago, people were saying that Thomas Vermaelen was one of the best centre-backs, if not the best centre-back in the Premier League. And he's only 28 years old, so he's definitely not past his peak. And if Van Gaal sees that and says, well, I can get his best form out of him, and he does, then what an incredible signing he could be realistically. Because we've got Phil Jones, we've got Chris Smalling, we've got Johnny Evans. We don't need to panic in terms of a centre-back, but we certainly need someone with experience. And if we were to buy someone like Atleti's Miranda, then he would need 6, 7, 8 months to get used to the Premier League. Vermaelen is 28 years old, so he brings that experience, but also he knows what he's doing in the Premier League. So he can guide those younger players. So I think he would, the more I think about it, the better a signing I think this would be. He's only got a year left on his contract, so he's not going to cost loads, of £8 to £12 million. That's a good price for an experienced centre-back who has got quality. Over the last couple of years, he's had a few injuries, so his form hasn't been the best. But if Van Gaal can get the best form out of him, then this would be a very astute signing, and it would be another blow to Arsenal. And think just for a second about what happened last time we signed Arsenal's captain. Yeah, that's right. It was Robin Van Persie, and we won the league. So I don't think Vermaelen would be a signing like Van Persie, but I do think it would be very good, and it would certainly improve our squad. And it's one that the more I think about, the more excited I get, if that makes sense, because a lot of people will dismiss this without really thinking deeply into it and just go, well, Vermaelen doesn't start for Arsenal because they've got Mertesacker and Koscielny, and we want to be much better than Arsenal, so we want to be doing better than their players. But if you want a Premier League centre-back with experience, who are you going to buy? Exactly. Silence. Vermaelen is a very good option, I think. Let us know what you think. Please write it down below. We don't know if this is definitely happening. The Telegraph are claiming there is an agreement in place, though, and that it will get sorted out after the World Cup for a fee. And with a year left on his contract, if Vermaelen wants to go, they're going to have to sell him. And if he wants to come, that means I like him even more. Go on, Thomas.